Good morning, everyone. My name is Sam. Nice to meet you all. I'm here to introduce Kairos watches. Very excited and honored to be here today. So, here we go. Before talking about Kairos watches, I want to briefly talk about why people wear wristwatches. As you can see, people have different sense of style. Some are more casual, some are more business oriented. These people wear different watches. $100,000 watches, you got design, you got simplistic versions, diamonds. But who are these for? I mean, from far away to me, it sort of looks the same. I'm actually wearing one right now, my right arm. So what target are they, what demographic are they targeting? In terms of numbers, in the watch world, 1.2 billion units are sold annually. Now these are obviously not smartwatches. They're mechanical watches as well as quartz-based watches. 29 million of these are Swiss-made. 77% of them, 924 million units roughly, are mechanical watches. So for a wristwatch to be successful, why do men wear them? Has to have three main factors: design, brand, and monetary value. As you can see from the picture above, just a simple comparison. Everyone has different taste and style. But in order for the design to be more free, you need the face of the watch to be clear. Brand wants a story. It's not always about how long or heritage, 100 years of watchmaking heritage. It's not about that. When you wear Breitling, for example, what kind of image statement are you making? You're successful, you're into aviation. Samsung, if you think about it, what image are you making? TVs, smartphones, freezers. Kairos want to actually create the image of a tech early adopter who's also into style and fashion. Monetary value, again, another very important thing. When you wear a watch, it has to have some kind of value. You don't want to walk into a business meeting wearing a $50, $100 watch. That's the story here. Here's a little video clip of our watch in action. So it does all the basic functions: push notifications, text messages, emails, remote control systems for your MP3 player, your camera. In the future, we'll be adding some health features as well. So as you can see, it's actually made up of various different components. It's a hybrid combination of a smartwatch and a mechanical unit. Now, in order to protect this, business plan and business by itself, we actually filed US and EU patents already, and also did all the trademarks in EU as well as US. Official filing is US, EU, and South Korea. Patent itself covers the assembly. So basically, any transparent display or projection unit with a mechanical body movement is our patent. The display is a transparent organic LED display. So as you can see from the left, it's an off stage. On the right, it's on stage. That's a picture of a kimchi right there. Alright, so firmware. We're using our own SDK. We're actually in the process of developing our own SDK. But at the same time, Android Wear has been, released, or soon to be released. So we're going to make sure that our system is hardware compatible to use Android. And it's also going to be compatible with iOS. These are the mechanical specs. With Kairos, it was actually beyond software and hardware. We had to actually come up with very creative ideas on how to cram all that stuff into an acceptable body at 62.5 millimeters in height. And that's an example of how we did it. Here's some very quick slides of our progress. So we've met with suppliers, we've done different types of testing. This is the off stage, this is the on stage. We've also been to Basel and met with great people there. Some prototype testing, we have one on stage. This is a 2.5 scale model. It's a little big for visual demonstration. That's basically how it looks. Well, it should look like that when we go into production. We've done our own commercial film. We'll be launching in 2 days from now. We've been to GMIC Beijing. We've been also into Startup Singapore just last week. We're very honored to be awarded with some design awards. We're actually going to be in production in September. And starting tomorrow, we're going to be doing pre-order. It's going to be not Kickstarter or Indiegogo, but we've actually done our own website, and we're going to be pushing with our own media and marketing. We have our team. I'm actually a Dotcom veteran from the 90s, so it's been about 15 years since I started my first company. I was actually 17 at the age. Ken is a Fortune 500 background, corporate finance, lawyer as well. Beilunch is a very talented engineer, electrical engineer. He's got Samsung and LG background. Gabriel is our software engineer. Justin is our designer. And Ryan is our biomedics expert. Now, our exit strategy is not really to target Samsung, Apple, or Google, or eBay, Amazon. It's totally different. We're targeting the luxury watch Swiss groups. So you got LVMH, the Swatch Group, Richemont. The reason why we did this is because a 1% market penetration of smartwatches into their market share equals to about $214 million a year. That's based on estimate figures that they've actually released. So what problem does it solve? Well, for them, it solves a $214 million a year problem. We've been also very fortunate to have a lot of feedback from media already. We refer to as the Hublot of smartwatches. And lastly, in the past 6 hours, we've actually had 400 pre-order subscribers. And that's it. Thank you very much.
All right. So just please feel free to ask a question.
Hello?
Yes.
Thank you, Sam. It's very interesting. I like the innovation that you basically have transparent as well as opaque display that can fit existing form factor. That's actually pretty unique. The thing I'm worried a little about is, could this fit in between? What I mean by that is, often people who wear these kind of watches, it's a status symbol. You want people to see exactly what it does. And so by having it look exactly like a regular mechanical watch, it might not, you know what I mean, have enough of that show-off factor. So does it make sense to do something a little different so it's obvious that it is a next-gen mechanical watch?
Actually, one of our design factors was that we purposely used the open heart mechanical movement to show off the mechanics. So when people see it, it's a moving component inside. And our second-hand dial actually moves by per second. So that was the reason why we designed it like that. And we're also going to be doing OEM supply as well. Our revenue model is not just to sell Kairos. It's also to supply our components to, let's say, Omega or Rolex, so that they can have an Omega smartwatch powered by Kairos.
Right. Actually, one of the things, because this might be a brand play initially,
you
might be better off approaching a well-known designer like a Tom Porter, Alexander Wang, and enabling them to get into the market with the next-gen offering that they hadn't thought of doing before. So, that's one idea.
Yes, that's hopefully as a startup, eventually that's one thing that we'll definitely like to do.
Hey Sam, so the question I have is sort of along the lines of what Tim mentioned is core product positioning and how you think about who's the addressable market today from a demographic standpoint. Do you have I guess if I were to ask you who is the ideal customer for you to prove out that there is a market, and then as you couple that, what is the price point? Because I think about you're going after a luxury positioning, but the price points don't reflect that. So one of the things I would understand is how do you think about core use?
Okay, I'm very glad that you actually asked that question. Our target demographic is pretty unique. It's actually people in the 30s and 40s, not in the early 20s. It's my age group, and we grew up with desktop computers. We didn't grow up with smartphones, we didn't grow up with STD laptops. As you can see from our design of our watch, that actually is an inner working of a desktop. So the fan and the latch, it actually represents the desktop. So the reason why we did that is the design reminiscent of the old days. And people in my age group, we grew up with that. So, and we are the early tech adopter. We are the original early, in my opinion. But we have more disposable income. We don't want to wear a $150, $200 watch. even if you wanted to try it out, it's more like you said, a status symbol as well. So with our pricing strategy, it was a very long process that we came up with. And we thought, what, $500,000, that is a very sweet spot for our target market. Yeah.
Okay, we have time to one more questions.
Personally, I like your product. Thank you very much. And then I just wanted to ask some questions about your distribution and marketing strategy. You mentioned something like a supplier and OEM type of the service. And then do you have any more strategy about distribution of your product in Korea and global?
Yes, in Korea, we've already been working with Urim FMG. It's the largest watch distributor in Korea. They do Japan and Japan. They absolutely love our product. They're waiting until our production goes live. In abroad, we have on board in our team some advisors who are in the Swiss Watch Group. I'm not talking about Swatch Group, just to be clear. And they've been CEOs in different various companies, and they've been giving us a lot of, networking with introduced us to key distributors at Baselworld in March of this year. The reason why they're excited is this. As I said, when the smartwatches come more and more dominant and people are getting more convenient to these features, they're going to lose sales. I'm talking about distributors and also traditional watch retailers. So for us, it's a welcome thing for them. And we don't really feel like we have much of a problem distributing through those channels. So we won't be selling through Best Buy or things like that, Amazon. We won't be selling.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you for joining us. 네, 진정성 있게 발표해 주신 소영 대표님께 감사의 박수 드리겠습니다.